There are many good forward options in FPL and I'm going to help you guys pick the best ones. Disclaimer, I am not an expert, this is just my opinion. What's up guys, we are back using fixtures and underlying data to analyse the best FPL picks like the nerds we are. Make sure to turn on the notification bell if you enjoy videos like this because it means the YouTube algorithm will like me more if you are returning viewers. And obviously because it benefits you as well. You know, you'll know when one of my videos drop. Win-win situation for all of us. Without further ado, let's get into it. Igor Jesus, if that's how you say it, I'm pretty sure it is a 6 out of 10. Now, he would be higher, but the fixtures aren't great. You'd ideally have someone to rotate him with, but having a forward costing 6 million on your bench every other game week is definitely suboptimal. He looks to be the favoured striker under Glasner. His minutes are slightly threatened by Chris Wood, but he's doing well in pre-season while Chris Wood isn't. It's just like I said, the early fixtures don't make it easy for him. I mean, home to Leeds and home to Tottenham ain't so bad. They're both green fixtures because of how they were last season, but I have a sneaking feeling that they could both improve. Definitely Spurs, I think everyone knows that. But Leeds are also putting in work in the transfer window. We then have Thiago, who was actually in my very first Game Week 1 draft, but now the dust has settled a bit, I do just prefer João Pedro for 0.5 million cheaper. Even if they were the same price, I would still prefer João Pedro. But we're not talking about Pedro right now, we're talking about Thiago. Yes, he was a bit of a pen merchant. Brentford had 10 penalties last season and Thiago is the penalty taker. But don't let that fool you too much. He was still 4th for non-penalty expected goals in the Premier League last season. It's still pretty good, you know, for a player only costing 8 million. But with that, you also have no assist potential. The Brentford fixtures are pretty good. They're not amazing, but they've got some good games ahead of them. Some of these games, you would benefit from having Thiago as a low ownership player. But with all the good value forward options in the game right now, and Thiago costing 8 million, who's quite fairly priced, I don't see any reason to go for him unless he is your 11th player to pick and you're looking for a forward who costs exactly 8 million. But even at that point, just go João Pedro and spend 0.5 elsewhere. Now, it feels kind of wrong putting Brobby above Thiago. In fact, I could easily put Thiago above Brobby. Brobby, generally speaking, isn't great to own, guys. I'm going to keep it real with you. His ownership is quite high because the opening fixtures for Sunderland are quite good. And Sunderland's league position last season was quite good. But the underlying data begs to differ. Sunderland were 18th for XG last season, above only Burnley and Wolves. Their attack is not good. Brobby is still the best Sunderland attacker to own, and I do fancy his chances of scoring across Game Week 1 and Game Week 2. They're two easy fixtures. But as soon as you get to Game Week 3, the chances of scoring sinks. Against any half-decent team, like away to Brentford, Brobby will struggle along with the entire Sunderland attack outside of set pieces, meaning Brobby is just a transfer out waiting to happen. And while he is good to own for the first 2 game weeks, the fact the fixtures get tough very quick means he's not necessarily amazing like many of you may think. It's weird I'm talking about players you should buy. I should be bigging up these players saying how good they are, but I've got to do it in relation to how popular they are. And I'm seeing a lot of Brobby love at the moment, which is fair enough, it's cool, but a bit too much Brobby love. Nothing against the guy, it's just as an FPL asset, I think he's a little overrated. I am probably going to get some heat for this one, but Isak is on the list. He's not much better than Brobby or Thiago. They're all on the same level, 7 out of 10. 9 million for Isak is quite a lot. He's an injury-prone player, but he's got no competition up front. Liverpool's team looks stronger than last season despite their bad squad depth. You know, an uninjured 11 is quite strong for them. The opening 5 game weeks are very good for Liverpool. Away to Newcastle's not great, but Newcastle, I'm not going to say they're in turmoil, but they don't look nearly as good as they used to a couple years ago, and Isak could take advantage of this along with the other easy games that follow. He's probably on penalties too, but like I said at the beginning, Isak is 9 million. When there's so many good value forwards in FPL, there's no real need to pick 9 million Isak unless you're going without Haaland, going without Bruno, and you want an expensive differential that others can't afford. In that scenario, I see you going for Isak. He was once again in my first draft where I made a no Haaland draft. I've backtracked from that now. I think he's a good striker to own, but you just need to be wary of his price. Can you afford someone cheaper that's better? If you can, then maybe give Isak a miss. But once again, still a good option to own. Then we get on to the big 3. Now, right now, all these 3 are in my current draft. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is 6 million. And yes, guys, he is wasteful in front of goal. That's not really what you want, but Calvert-Lewin was 3rd for expected goals last season. How can you have a player that was 3rd for expected goals and only charge 6 million for him next season? It seems like a bit of a joke for me. Fair enough, the non-penalty expected goals do drop off quite a bit, but it's still pretty high for a player who's only 6 million. Have I mentioned he costs 6 million yet? And I mentioned this earlier, Leeds have been putting work in the transfer window. Their defence looks a little stronger, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin also has Harry Wilson up on the wing to assist him. That's big news. No disrespect to Aronson and that, you know, Okafor, they're good, but Wilson seems a little better, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin will indirectly benefit from this along with Leeds as a whole. So yeah, 6 million, way too cheap for this guy. The fixtures are pretty good. You know, there's no real bad ones in there, but there's no real amazing ones either. Just don't be mad when Calvert-Lewin does miss a big chance for your FPL teams, because if you own him, that will happen at some point. You know, probably more often than not, but I do believe at 6 million, he is still very good value and someone you should definitely consider. Then we have a player who I have deemed the best value player in FPL. For João Pedro, 7.5 million seems a bit silly. Excluding low minutes players, João Pedro was second for non-penalty expected goals per 90 last season, third for non-penalty expected goals in general, slightly behind Ollie Watkins. This data is very impressive, and the assists aren't so bad either. Now you see, not many expected assists, 0.07 compared to 0.3 assists per 90, that's a big jump. It may seem like he's quite fortunate, and yeah, sometimes he is, but he wins a lot of penalties. So while he doesn't take penalties like some of the other strikers, he's still good at winning them, which is equally just as good. Well, not equally just as good, we'll say 3/4 as good. All the fixtures, medium to long term, look quite good as well. It's just game week 3 you've got to worry about. I know some people are owning lots of Chelsea assets and going for free hit in game week 3, which I think is completely fine. But it's also okay just to play João Pedro through the Arsenal away game, you know. Arsenal are very good at defending. Playing Arsenal away is a very likely blank, but Arsenal aren't invincible. And if anyone's going to score for Chelsea, it's probably going to be Pedro or Palmer. So if you're sitting there with some Arsenal defenders and you want insurance, João Pedro is still a great player to have on the pitch, because if he takes away your Arsenal clean sheet, at least you're still getting some points. Then in first, guys, you probably already guessed it. Well, you didn't need to. He's been on the screen literally the entire time. Erling Haaland at 15.5 million is very expensive, and loads of people talk about Haaland. Everything I'm about to say, you've already heard. Amazing goal threat, the best in the game last season, the best in the game for the last 4 seasons. There's no doubt about it. The issue is, Haaland has a new manager. Is he going to be as good under Maresca? Probably not, but he could still be very good anyway. But he is a very low risk option, and he always starts the season so strong. It's unreal. It's like the opening 6 game weeks, there's some sort of, I don't know, guarantee that Haaland is going to bag at least 10 points per game. He's done it in 3 out of his 4 FPL seasons so far. Like, Salah's an FPL legend, and I'm pretty sure he only managed that once in all of his time playing in the Premier League. So yeah, Haaland is a next level beast when he starts the season, and he normally drops off halfway through, fatigues a little bit or gets injured. But we don't need to think about game week 19 and game week 20. We're thinking about game week 1, and owning Haaland is very safe. If you own him and he's bad, he's easy to sell and you can move around your team. If you don't own him and he's good, it's going to be very hard to bring him in. Anyway guys, that is my list for the forwards. If you haven't already, check out my best midfielders to buy and my best defenders to buy. I've made videos on them already. I'm not sure if they're outdated or not. Lots have changed, you know, with pre-season and injuries and stuff, but I'm pretty sure everything I said still stands. But you can watch it for yourself and decide for yourself. If you made it this far, you are greatly appreciated, and I will see you all in the next video.